Isn't that what Donald Trump does every single day? He goes on to TV and he claims that all of the ICE protests are massively funded by George Soros, or when he claims that there was mass election fraud in 2020 with no evidence, or like, doesn't Donald Trump try to rewrite history constantly?
Hold on. Does Trump believe those things?
Okay.
Just answer the question honestly. Does he actually believe that that's the case? Which one doesn't he believe?
He doesn't believe in any of them. He has no evidence for any of them, so I don't think he believes in any of them. But then you're going to say, how can you read his mind?
No, that's not what I was saying. Do you have evidence for every single belief that you hold? And do you think most people have evidence for every single belief? Like, let me ask something. Do you think that most Christians...
If I was going to go out and proclaim something in front of the country that somebody was doing a whole bunch of crime or fraud, you better fucking believe I would have evidence of it. Yes.
Destiny, do you think that Christians believe in God?
Probably, yeah.
Do you think that most Christians do you think most Christians, and honestly, because I actually probably would agree with
do you think that before you say something in front of the country, before you start making sweeping broad accusations, that you should have evidence for those claims?
Yeah, I think you should. Sure.
Did Donald Trump have any evidence of mass protesters being paid or of mass election fraud in the 2020 election?
I can grant that you should have evidence. That doesn't mean that
Did Donald Trump have any evidence that he presented to the American people that mass protesters are being paid by some Soros-like foundation, or that there was mass fraud in the 2020 election?
I can just say no, because it doesn't matter.
Okay,
the point that I'm trying to make.
So he probably should have. Probably irresponsible to do that.
There were questions around that. There were
no, we're not talking about questions.
Hold on a second.
We're the President of the United States. We have access to more investigatory power than any other agency on the entire fucking planet. You need more than just questions.
I can just grant that. I can grant that it's irresponsible and that he shouldn't have done it. Sure, he shouldn't have done it. But hold on, if he doesn't have evidence, he shouldn't have done it. But does he actually believe it?
How would I ascertain that?
Based on actions that he takes after the statement.
Okay, so the fact that he asked his attorney general to investigate these things, his deputy attorney general, Vice President Pence, the fact that he was asking people to investigate these things, and when they came back to him, they said, we investigated it, we found nothing, but he continues to repeat the same bullshit claims over and over and over again, that's what leads me to believe that he didn't ever actually believe in them.
No.
Maybe he just trusted them.
No, I'd argue against that. I would argue against that. He must strongly have believed in it, because if you were like adamant that this must have taken place and you were completely convinced, you would have explored all possible opportunities.
If that's what you're going to say, then if that's what you want to say, then how could you ever prove...
That actually does confirm it. So you can't make that claim based on your own evidence.
Fucking dipshit. Your mom was drinking alcohol, not eating Advil or Tylenol.
How am I filibustering? You're not the one that... You literally went on a 2-minute gish gallop where you were saying one of the things boys, it threats free speech because judges are retards.
Super clear question. How do you prove that Donald Trump was lying? How can you ever know that then? If you can't use any information about any of the information about him around him, how can you prove that?
I said you can't. You can't actually prove the intent.
You can't prove anybody's state of mind ever. So we could just never speak to anybody's state of mind ever.
No, you could do this by at least seeing what he says in private versus in public, where he's always maintained this consistent position of he thinks the election was stolen.
I'm critiquing your claim here, Destiny. One sec. I'm critiquing your claim. You're the one that claimed that just because the Trump got these guys to investigate, and when they came back with the things, he continued on and kept exploring down that avenue. You said that must prove that he was lying. But that doesn't prove that could also prove that he was just so convinced that he kept pursuing it.
Okay, wait. Do you guys know that on Lex Friedman, Trump said that he lost?
Yeah, he did officially, according to the official report, he did lose the election. That doesn't mean he doesn't believe that it was stolen.
No.
So wait, do you think that it might be possible that Trump is suffering from psychosis, that he's delusional? Because what do you call it if you have a fixed belief that it doesn't change, regardless of you losing 63 court cases, regardless of every single investigatory body around you saying that there is no evidence? If all of these people are saying there are none, and the only thing saying that there is some evidence are crazy videos on YouTube, is there a chance that Trump might just be fucking insane?
Or he could just be wrong.
Well, then you can make the case for every single married person across the country.
Good one.
But there's no evidence that this person is going to live the rest of life with you, but she's still married and all this kind of shit.
How could you ever prove then ever, or how could you ever know with any degree of certainty? How could you ever know with any degree of certainty that somebody's just lying to you? If they maintain the lie constantly, then you're just always going to assume.
Munchausen's trilemma. Like the whole certainty, it's like 100% absolute, like without a shadow of a doubt and all this kind of shit.
No one's looking for 100% certainty. We don't operate at 100% certainty. We ascertain people's state of
mind.
We're
just saying that Trump could have been convinced.
I'm not asking for could have. Yeah, there's a 1% chance maybe, but it's far more likely that he's just lying.
What's your evidence for that?
The fact that he was told by all of the people he asked to investigate that there was no fucking fraud, and then he chose to continue on with the same debunked claims anyway. It's probably evidence that he's just lying. Convinced that, and all these things that just happen to benefit him.
My famous atheist quote. Hold on. I remain unconvinced by the evidence that you've presented.
Then why did he ask them to do the investigation anyway?
Okay.
Wait. Why would he ask them to do the investigation if he wasn't going to believe them unless they gave him the answer that he wanted?
He could be suffering. Maybe it could be a confirmation bias thing. That could be one, or it could be
delusional. He's delusional. So he's delusional. Let's just say that. More than Biden was, right? He's delusional. He's delusional. Trump is crazy. That's fine. If that's your
I'll
position,
just grant it.
Trump is crazy. Okay, cool. I'm good with that.
Okay, so the crazy guy is the biggest threat to free speech when everything he tries to do gets overturned or rejected. He's the biggest threat to free speech.
Everything he tries to do, and you can do a lot of damage along the way. The tariffs just got overturned, but they've been in place for a year, so they're doing damage.
How is tariff means he's the biggest threat to free speech?
No,
you can say maybe he's the biggest threat to the economy, but not free speech because of tariffs.
You understand he's giving an example of how you can do damage, even though
he knows
you were eventually stopped from doing it.
Yes, I know, but I don't understand how what that has to do with his claim of he's the greatest threat to free speech.
He was answering one of your claims with that example. He wasn't speaking to the major overall claim that was being made.
Speaking of one of your claims, because again, I hang out in right-wing spaces, the things that you guys say do kind of ping my memory sometimes, so I dug this up from my files. You were talking about the Disinformation Governance Board under the Biden administration, right? What was your objection to that? What was your objection to it?
I don't want the government ever deciding what's disinformation or misinformation. I'd rather be debated in the marketplace of ideas.
How does the CDC approve drugs or the FDA approve drugs?
That can be empirically demonstrated.
Oh my God! But misinformation can't be.
If you can actually demonstrate that the information is false, then you can make a public statement saying this is false. Not if you say false shit because you believe it, therefore we're going to censor you. You could just say this guy's okay. The community notes aspect of X I think is far better for actually determining what's misinformation or disinformation.
Who did the Biden admin censor?
Exactly. No, I'm saying the concept behind that.
Yeah, I understand the concept. So, do you know what the Disinformation Governance Board actually was?
Well, they were monitoring stuff online, but they weren't actually censoring stuff themselves. But did you see how it could definitely?
You see how he knew the answer to that, but he brought it up hoping that you would.
No, I hoped you guys would know what was going on with the Disinformation Board. I know that you guys have vast knowledge.
I had to be reminded. I had to be reminded. So yeah, its primary purpose was to monitor foreign states like Russia, China, Iran, and then also terrorist groups, human smuggling organizations, and basically to kind of sniff out the propaganda of these foreign organizations. But also, they were what is known as an advisory board of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. An advisory board is a non-binding board, meaning that they will do research, they will bring information to the DHS, and the DHS will choose to act on it or not. So it wasn't a censorship board.
I didn't say it was a censorship board. I'm saying the idea of the government ever establishing...
Well, then how is it a threat to free speech?
Because the government getting to establish what's disinformation is not the way to go about censoring information. It's not even.
Its recommendations were non-binding. Its recommendations were non-binding.
Anything. So why wouldn't we want the government that has access to more resources than any other single entity in the entire planet? Why wouldn't we want them to have some investment in protecting us from people blatantly fucking lying to us? Especially actors in other countries.
Because there's such thing as a noble lie.
Okay, just real quick. If you were so concerned about this Disinformation Governance Board, you do realize that it shut down in 3 months because both right-wingers and far left-wingers screamed so fucking loudly about it on the internet that it lost all credibility and it was immediately closed down?
Yes, I'm aware.
And it was somehow a greater threat to free speech than Trump?
No, I didn't say... No, I'm saying the concept of having the government regulating information is what I think is a massive... much more of a threat to free speech.
Well, sure, but that's not what this was.
I know that's not what this was. I'm saying the concept behind it, and could that concept be brought further? Because I'm saying the concept of that. Like
let me ask you, Steelborn. Okay, we've had reports, and assuming these reports are true, of the DHS subpoenaing people who are critical of ICE, and subpoenaing the Facebook and X and Google and Gmail for their personal information to get their names, addresses, and access to their emails and DMs and social media. Do you think that is a threat to people's free speech?
Yeah, but that's also why I was against that's why I'm against the Patriot Act, and I think that all stuff like that
should be removed. Not to with the Patriot Act. Why did you back up to something more general when there's a specific action that Donald Trump took?
Hey, hold on. Did Donald Trump take this?
Yeah, well, Donald Trump's DHS is doing this now.
Can you demonstrate that the orders came from Trump?
It's so fucking good.
Okay,
look, if you can demonstrate the orders came from Trump, then I'll say he shouldn't have done that.
No, because they just kind of went, okay, so like if the Republicans are in charge, then it's Republicans DHS. You just made that association. So
yes,
when Trump was impeached, the second time for his speech. Yeah, so when Trump was impeached for his speech,